Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jesse Bells from the 19th hole, and we are here to do the Pro and Expert pre-tournament guide for you all here today. This will cover the holes from the second tee's perspective. We'll talk about different routes that you can play for each hole. We'll talk about the club and ball selection choices that you may want to consider, and we'll also talk about elevation changes on this upcoming course for the Coastal Classic Tournament. This tournament will be starting on Monday, August 19th. And we don't know the actual tournament wins yet, but we can talk about the holes and kind of go over the different scenarios depending on what kind of a wins that we do see. Hopefully with this video it'll kind of give you a little bit of a refresher of the course, and it'll get you a little bit better mentally prepared for the tournament starting on Monday when you do tackle that qualification round. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with hole number 1 in just a moment. Alright, so let's jump right into this, or we're going to be starting out with hole number 1. And we start out with a par 5, definitely a great chance to go after the albatross, I would say. For the tee shot, we're going to start out with plus 10% for the elevation change. When I'm talking elevation change, I'm talking about adding or subtracting from our wind value. And you do that when you're taking shots either uphill or downhill. So plus 10 means we're taking a shot downhill. When you're subtracting, that means you're taking a shot uphill. This first shot is to the left-hand side and is a downhill shot, so it is a plus 10%. You just take your wind value and you add a plus 10% of whatever that value is. So let's just say we have 5 miles per hour wind. A 10% increase would be 0.5. So we would just adjust our shot as if we were taking a shot with 5.5 miles per hour. And that would be your 10% increase. So for the driver here, you definitely want a driver that has some distance and some accuracy. Also, you want a driver that you feel comfortable with. The Extra Mile, the APOC, the Thor are all great drivers here to this left side. For the ball choice, I'd say at least a Power 3 ball. You could also maybe get away with a Katana ball, depending on what kind of a wind we have. So with a tailwind, we're looking at landing our shot somewhere in this area of the fairway. The topspin that we use will definitely depend on the type of wind that we have. If we have a tailwind, we'll probably use about 3 bars of topspin. Side wind, a little bit more. If we have a headwind, then we're going to use even more topspin. We do want to be careful though, because the end of this fairway rough can come in play. And this shot also kind of does have a left to right bounce to it, just due to the fact that the fairway that you're landing on can have that right to left slant. So I like to go with about 3 to 5 bars of topspin, and then I add in my 2 bars of left spin just to kind of keep that shot away from this right edge of the fairway. We want to roll our shot up this fairway to somewhere in that circled area at the end of that second fairway, and that's going to be put us in pretty good position for our second shot. So for our second shot, I really like the sniper. I think the sniper is going to give you the best opportunity to drop the albatross, not only because of its accuracy at 100%, but also because of its extended ball guide. The ball guide on the accuracy, the ball guide on the sniper is just absolutely incredible, and it can help you drop your shot. So you're going to be looking at about at least 2 bars of backspin, maybe more, and then you're going to be using side spin as well on this shot, depending on your location of your drive. You're just going to basically kind of play your shot towards the hole and try to line it up as best as you can, and then play your ring adjustment for the wind. Now you may want to try to work on a little bit of an offset on your shot, depending on what kind of a direction of the wind that you have. So if you have a side wind, you may want to look at somewhat of a slight offset to either one of those sides of the hole, in addition to your actual wind adjustment as well. The other option for this hole is to play it to the right side. This is most likely going to be more of an approach if you're playing in the higher level divisions, and if you have a really nice tailwind at your back. The way that it's been used in the past is if you have, you're going to be using a high power driver. You'll bounce your shot in this fairway, try to bounce it over the rough, and then roll it up into this area of the third fairway to the right. What that's going to do is going to leave you in a nice little chip range for either your short iron or a wedge chance to the hole for an albatross. This is not an overly common way to play this hole, but it's definitely a possible way to play this hole. If we get some sort of really crazy headwind, you can also play your drive to this right side safe. and then just, from there, you would be playing that shot with probably like a Guardian or something like that to the hole. You would want something with a lot of backspin. So either a Guardian or even maybe the Saturn or possibly Tsunami to the green, possibly that way as well. Your second shot to the left-hand side, plus 10%. If you're playing the shot on the right-hand side, the second shot over there will also be plus 10%, just in case you were wondering. So we got pretty much 10% all the way around for this hole number 1. Alright, hole number 2 is next. And hole number 2 is a par 4. We will be playing this one. I like to play this one to the left side. And in my opinion, this is a great hole to be playing with an accurate driver, which would be like the quarterback or the rock. Off the tee box, we'll play plus 10% for our elevation change. We'll be landing our shot right here on this little area of the fairway. With the rock and the quarterback, excellent accuracy, excellent ball guide. I would suggest not going any more than 2 bars of topspin with max right spin. And you're just going to be playing your shot up into this second fairway section right in there. And that will set you up for your second shot towards the green. Other possible ways to play this hole, if you have some sort of a nice tailwind, you can play this shot to the right-hand side, either bouncing it before the bunker, or if you have really good clubs and possibly a higher level ball, you could take the shot over the bunker as well. But definitely keep in mind it does require a pretty good tailwind at your back for that shot. And for that shot, you're just trying to get your ball as far up in the fairway as possible. Now, last time we had this hole in the expert tournament, there was definitely a possibility to go to that middle island with like a higher level APOC, like APOC 5 and up, or the extra mile 8. You had to kind of couple that with a power 5 ball like a Berserker. And the shot was landed off this fairway, and with topspin and left spin, bouncing it over to this last fairway and then up the fairway. And that sets you up with a wedge shot or short iron shot. This is very limited to expert and up division, but this is definitely a shot that is possible with the correct wind. For the most part, I believe that option A over here to the left side will be the way that most people play this shot. So for your second shot from the left side, you're going to be playing most likely with a sniper. I think the sniper is going to give you your best option on this next shot. So you can play it one of 2 ways. You can either try to go over this bunker, or you can land it to the left side and go around the bunker towards the hole. Going over the bunker probably gives you your best chance at the eagle. Going around it is a little bit more safe, in my opinion. Each of those shots are going to be played with backspin, though, and the backspin shot is going to actually help stop the ball and help it kind of turn a little bit from left to right on that green towards the hole. If you're playing the shot from the right hand side, you will be playing with the sniper or the Guardian, and you'll either be taking your shot off this little island or flying over the water with the correct wind to land it just past the edge of that rough. You'll be using left spin and back spin to kind of guide that ball towards the hole. I don't think the right side shot is going to be the shot that we use. I think definitely playing it to the left side is going to probably be the way that most people end up playing that way. In the expert, you probably will be set up to try to play that shot from the middle as well, if I had to guess. Usually with tournament winds, you tend to get a little bit more favorable winds to kind of go for those bigger shots to put yourself in position for those extra drops. In tour play, not so much. A lot of times you're not going to see a favorable wind for that type of shot. Alright, moving on to hole number 3. We've got Billy Goat Bluff for hole number 3. And this is our first par 3. So we got hole 3 and par 3. So for this shot right here, I believe you're going to have 2 options. Either you're going to play the wood shot off this front island here, and that's if you have a tailwind or a side wind. If you have a headwind, then you're going to have to play a driver shot off this lowered fairway. No matter which way you play from the second tee, you're going to play a plus 50% for your elevation change. From the first tee, it's a little bit less, but from the second tee, you got to go with the 50% elevation change. Last time we had this tournament, we had somewhat of a tailwind, and we were able to play our sniper off this first island here with about 2 bars of backspin and max left spin. Also had to use a good amount of curl as well. And basically what you just do is you bounce off this area, the ball comes down, lands right here past this this rough, and then rolls hopefully, you know, towards the hole for the possible ace. I would not really count on this shot being an ace chance. This is definitely a hole where you just want to take that birdie and be happy with that birdie. If you do, for some foreseen reason, get that ace to drop, I hope you get it to drop on the weekend, because that would be a huge pickup for yourself on your scorecard. So if we have some sort of headwind, or you just want to play the driver shot, you're going to need to use a driver with a lot of backspin. So that basically narrows it down to a few clubs. The Thor, the Quarterback, the Rocket, or higher level Apox have those have that backspin, and that would be played with backspin, left spin, and left curl, and it'd be pretty much the same type of shot as the sniper, where you're coming in with the side spin, the backspin, and the curl, and just trying to bend it around on that fairway towards that hole the best you can. You do want to be careful in this hole, because if you do come into the shot with too much speed in the green, the ball will roll off the green and filter down into the rough, or even possibly the sand. So definitely be careful about that. You know, I would try to play the shot, you know, conservatively, and play for the putt or the chip right there on the fringe. I don't think that's a bad play on this hole, honestly. I think too aggressive can definitely get you in trouble and may cause some pars to happen in this hole. So if you have tailwind or side wind, I like the sniper. If you have more of a side wind or headwind that makes you adjust into overpower, then I like the driver off of the bottom fairway. I just definitely think that's the best way to play this hole. Ball wise, you got to have a ball with, I like some wind resistance. So I really like the Kingmaker. The Kingmaker also gives me that extra side spin needed. If you want to use a Katana, you could try the Katana as well. That does give you that side spin, and that's if you don't want to dip into, you know, your special balls or anything like that. So that was hole number 3. Hole number 4 is next, and we've got a par 4 here. This is going to be a tough par 4. Depending on what kind of wind we have. This is a hole that gives you lots of different options, and if you get a nice tailwind, it gives you an option of getting to the green in 1, and we will talk about that. Off the tee box, we're playing plus 10%. For our second shot, we're playing 0% if we have a second shot. So the conservative ways to play this hole are with control drivers, like Quarterback or Rock, and you're just trying to play your shot to either of these sides of the fairway, depending on whatever way gives you the best wind for the second shot. So once we find out these wind directions for the tournament, you know, if we have a straight like headwind or tailwind going towards the hole on either of these two shots, you know, that's gonna kind of predict the way that you're gonna play the hole, because you want your second shot to be a shot with a nice tailwind or a nice headwind. That just definitely increases the chances of you dropping the eagle for that second shot. So definitely keep that in mind when you're trying to decide which way you want to play, if you end up wanting to play with more of a conservative approach. There's 2 backspin for the backspin, and then you want to use your side spins as needed to position your ball in the fairway. And that's the way to play the conservative approach. Now we're going to talk about a little bit more of an aggressive way to play these holes, especially in the pro and the expert. You can get a little bit more aggressive. From the right hand side, you can play a shot with your driver where you're landing it in here. You're going to be using topspin. Anywhere from 2 to 4 bars of topspin, max left spin, and max curl, or you can go with the power curl shot. If you're not sure on the power curl shot numbers for your driver, you can go to golfclashnotebook.io. If you go to their slice section, there is an actual graph chart that has all the different drivers, their levels, and then what number coincides with that power hook slice for that particular driver. We'll just kind of use the Thor as an example. Like level 3, 4, 5 Thor are all about 15, 14, 15 rings. So let's just say I was setting up my shot with the Thor. I would set up, I would adjust for my wind, and then I would adjust the 15 rings for the power curl shot. Then I would do full power curl, full power slice. If I was going to the right side, it would be slice to the left. If I was playing to the left side, it would be slice to the right. So those are definitely your options. You can play a skip shot here that bounces over the water and then tries to roll towards the green there. The shot to the right hand side, you bounce over, you bounce the shot right there on that fairway, and then you roll up the fairway towards the green. Definitely great ways to play these holes if you have the confidence to go for those little bit higher power shots. Last time we had this hole in the tournament was the second anniversary tournament. The quarterback shot worked really well to the right side in the pro, and then actually in the expert, we played a Thor's hammer shot with the Berserker ball, where we actually landed the shot right here with about 4 bars of topspin, max right spin. And then we played the power curl shot to the left, and then we came in, we hit here, and it bounced up and rolled towards the green this way. Left a really nice putt or chip for that eagle. Worked out really well. And that was with an actual Berserker ball, so we'll have to see what kind of a wind that we do get for this tournament and see if possibly we have those same opportunities again. But the conservative way is just to play short left or right and then set up that second shot toward the green, 0%, and just try to play whichever way gives you the best straight tailwind or headwind to the hole. Hole number 5 is next, and we got another par 3 here. This is going to be a plus 10% for this par 3, and we're going to be playing this one either with the Goliath, if you're going to play your shot off the island, or you're going to be playing with the Sniper if you're going to be going for the rough bump. If you go in for the rough bump, you're going to be using somewhere between 0 to 2 bars of backspin and 5 to 6 bars of left spin. Basically what you're doing is you're going to bump it off the rough, up this little slope, incline, and then back down towards the hole. That's the way you play the rough bump. Plus 10%. Sniper is the best way to play that hole. I like the Katana. I like the Kingmaker ball for this hole for sure. You do want the side spin for the shot off the island as well. The island shot, I like the Goliath for this shot. You want a club with a decent amount of curl to it, because you have to hop your shot off this island, you bounce on the green, and then you're going to roll up the slope and then back down the slope, much the same type of ball path as the Sniper rough bump as well. So definitely keep those two shots in mind when you are looking at this hole. For the shot off of the island, the top spin or the back spin won't be much either way, and it's definitely going to depend on the wind that we do have. So if you do have a tailwind, you're going to be looking at a small amount of backspin. If you're looking at a side wind, it's going to be in between, just barely any backspin or barely any topspin. If you have a headwind, you're going to be looking at some topspin. Basically what you're needing is to make sure that that ball's bounce does make it over the bunker and the rough to land on the green. The curl amount as well will depend on the wind angles that you get. If you have a very straight tailwind at your back, you're only going to have to use a little bit of curl. If you have a left to right wind, you're going to need to use more curl, and if you have a natural right to left wind, you're just going to use a little bit of curl for that shot. But the key is to get the path of that ball up along the top edge of that green and then rolling back down in that slant back down to the hole. Definitely a great hole for the possible ace, I would say. Plus 10% for the elevation adjustment. Hole number 6 is here next, and we've got a par 5. For the tee shot, we're playing plus 10%. Now, for this shot right here, we're going to be playing with a power driver with top spin. You're going to be using about max top spin and about 2 to 3 bars of left spin. We'll be playing our shot to the left-hand side, and you're going to be playing the drive to the edge of this first fairway section. Now, from here, you're either going to be double bouncing over, where you actually bounce here on the second fairway and then over into the third, or if you have enough topspin, you can make that hop all the way over the bunker in the rough and land right there on that third fairway section. Whatever way you play it, you want to try to roll your ball as far up into that third fairway section as possible. From there, we're going to play a plus 20% for our next shot. And, you know, if you have a sniper that can get the shot to the hole, use the sniper. The ball guy will come in handy. If you don't have a sniper that's leveled up enough to get the shot to the hole, and you're going to know this pretty quickly when you start playing this hole, then you may want to drop back and go to like the big dog. You're going to be needing you're going to need top spin for this shot, and you need the power 3 ball at minimum, not for the drive, but for the second shot. So a little bit of top spin, and then you're just going to roll your shot up to the hole. The green does slope from left to right, so you can play that left to right slope into your shot. Possibly get yourself a nice rollout for the albatross, but most likely this is going to be an eagle hole all around, in my opinion. You can possibly play this shot to the right-hand side if you have a headwind that does not allow you to play to the left side. If you play to the right side, you know, you're going to be playing a power shot where you're landing it here in this fairway and trying to get the shot as far up that fairway as possible. The farther up the fairway you get, the better chance you have for a second shot towards the hole, either landing there or even maybe possibly on the other side of that rough. No matter what way you play this hole with your second shot, you are going to be trying to get it around to the green for a possible eagle chip. This is not going to be a way to play this hole to really go after the albatross. So if you do find yourself to the right side, just really get yourself in position for that eagle, and don't try to push it. Don't try to overdo yourself and try to make some sort of a miracle shot. Definitely, you know, the big dog or the cataclysm is most likely going to be the club of choice from that right-hand side. All right, we got hole number 7 is next. And we got another par 3 here. We're going to play this one with a plus 15% elevation change. Ball-wise, I like, you know, at least the Kingmaker or the Katana. You want the wind resistance and you want the side spin for this shot. I think the Sniper is going to be your club of choice for this shot. And unlike in the Rookie where you play it up, you know, up towards the green, you're going to play your bounce back here on this first fairway. For this shot, you're going to be playing with about, if you have tailwind, it's going to be about 2 bars of backspin and max right spin. So you're basically taking your shot off this first fairway towards the green. You're going to get 1 bounce, and then you're going to get hopefully a roll towards the pin. If you don't have side spin, and let's just say you have a crosswind, then you're not going to play as much backspin. You're going to be playing somewhere between 0.5 to 1 bar of backspin for that shot with a crosswind. And I leave a little wiggle room in there because you really have to decipher whether or not it's a tail crosswind or a head crosswind. So, you know, if you have more of a head crosswind, you're going to be playing more towards the 0.5. If you have more of a tail, you're going to be playing more towards the 1. For a headwind, it's going to be somewhere between 0 to 1 bar of topspin. Once again, a little bit of wiggle room depending on what type of headwind you have. If you have a straight headwind or if you have more of a side headwind. The other ways to play this hole would possibly be some sort of a little bit of a rough bump right there. It's definitely a possibility. Or if you want to go with the driver, you can try to take a driver shot off the fringe area, the fairway fringe area, just past that little area of rough, and that would be a shot that you'd probably want to play a wind ball, and also, you know, like the Rocket or a really nice developed Thor, possibly the quarterback as well, but that's definitely require a ton of backspin and a good wind ball. One other thing to mention for this hole would be the curl amount that you would use. If you're playing with a left to right wind, you're not going to need to use as much curl. You're going to use probably about a quarter ball of curl. If you have a right to left wind, then you're going to be using about a full ball of curl, because you will have that wind kind of pushing your shot even farther to the left hand side. And if you have a straight wind, straight tailwind, you're still going to want to use curl, but not as much, maybe about a half a ball of curl. And that will be necessary to kind of help direct that ball guide towards the hole. Alright, next hole is hole number 8. And this is a par 4. The way to play this hole is going to be playing a plus 10% off the tee box. You want at least a power 3 ball for this hole, and you're going to be trying to get your drive to bounce off this first fairway over the water, and you're going to be trying to go to the right side here or the left side. If you play it to the left side, either one of these shots are going to be a plus 0% for the second shot. From the left side here, you have a chance of long iron towards the green with full backspin and right spin, possibly have a chance to direct your ball that way. From the right side, you can either go for the rough bump with like the Goliath, or you could play a shot to the fringe as well. Both those shots are probably not like really great eagle opportunities. I would say the rough bump would be more than the other, but definitely want to be very careful when you are playing each of those shots, because the location that you're landing your second shot is sloped up towards the green. So when you are adjusting, if you are adjusting downwards, you're going to have to push up your ring a little bit, just like you would if you were adjusting down into a bunker. If you don't, your ball will land lower down in the position than you were expecting, and you could get a bad bounce back into that bunker. So definitely, be very careful of that. That's kind of one reason why I prefer to play this shot to the left-hand side of that fairway, and then go with a long iron backspin, right spin shot into the green. If you can find a nice flat spot on that green to land the shot, it's a much more consistent way to play this hole in the end. So definitely keep that in mind. Think about it. Definitely something to consider. If you have a really strong tailwind with the correct club and ball, you could possibly bounce a shot off this first fairway and all the way to this last pad. I think that's kind of be like a Hail Mary type of play on this hole, but it's definitely something to keep in the back of your mind, especially if you're playing in the expert or above, and it could be a possibility. But that's probably going to be like, I would say probably a berserker shot with a full top spin and a high level club like APOC 5 and above. So other than that, just play the shot safe. Make sure to get yourself the birdie here. I think this is a hole that may catch some people off guard. I think there'll be some people that try to go for those eagles and really find themselves surprised by the outcome. So find the adjustment that works best for you, and then try to stick with it. I think if you try to dial in a shot from the beginning of the week, then you may be able to, by the end of the week, have something with a good chance at an eagle drop. We got hole number 9 here, our last and final hole, and it is a par 5. Now, the way we played this hole in the past in the pro and expert would be to the right-hand side, and to that side right there, it's somewhere between a 5 and 10%. 5 and 10% for the drive. Here, we'll put it down here. Plus 5, 10% for the drive. You're playing the shot off the edge of this fairway with top spin and left spin and left curl, trying to bounce it cleanly on that fairway. If you're able to bounce it cleanly on that fairway, you will get a good bounce up the fairway and get you in really good position for a second shot to the green for a possible albatross. If you aren't able to get a clean bounce up that fairway, then you will be a little bit farther back. And at that point, I think it becomes more of a salvage the eagle type of hole. And you definitely want to have the big stick with you, the big dog or the Cataclysm. If you consistently can find a way to drive that shot up the fairway, though, that's when you start packing the sniper, and that's when you start going for the albatross shot. Your second shot is going to be 5%, plus 5%. It's a pretty flat shot, and for the first shot, we're just going to say plus 10%. So we had plus 5 to 10%. We're just going to change that to plus 10%. I think that's a plus 10%. So for the second shot, we're going with the sniper. Most likely going to be bouncing over these bunkers towards this green. This green does have a slight left to right roll to it for the slope, so definitely make sure to play that shot with a left to right slope to it in preparation for that roll. If you have some wind that does not allow us to play it to the left-hand side, that's when we have to start considering playing it to the left-hand side. So if we have a wind that doesn't let us play to the right side, then we got to play to the left side. This is a shot that's going uphill, so we're actually going to be subtracting elevation, minus 20%. So we actually subtract elevation from our wind, and then you're going to be playing this shot with topspin and right spin. Trying to get this ball to roll up the fairway and then down to the right-hand side. You do want to be careful not to roll into this right rough or into the center island area. So that's a very technical shot. And from the second tees, you probably need to overpower that shot somewhat. From the first tees, you don't, but from the second tees, you got farther, more distance. So you'll have to overpower that shot somewhat. For your second shot from the left-hand side, you'll be playing plus 40%. It's a very severe downhill drop. You also want to have your big dog or your Cataclysm. You will bounce on this fairway over that bunker and rough towards the green. And hopefully, I wouldn't consider this an albatross chance. I would just consider this get myself in position for the eagle chance. So for the second shot, you will be looking at a couple bars of topspin to give that ball the chance to get towards the green for sure. Alright y'all, this has been the pro/expert playthrough or guide. Hopefully you all learned a few different things from this video. I will be doing actual playthroughs of the actual course starting on Monday. Rookie will be Monday, Pro will be either late Monday or early Tuesday, and then I will be doing expert live streams starting on Tuesday night where we will practice the course, and then Wednesday night where we will qualify with my main account on the course. So definitely check all those out. If you haven't done so already, definitely check out our Facebook group Golf Clash the 19th Hole. If you go to your Facebook search and just type in Golf Clash the 19th Hole, you can find us there. If you like my video content and you want to see more, including gameplay, definitely subscribe to the channel. Set up those notifications so that you can be notified when I do release new videos or even go live during tournament week. So definitely would love to see you all there and also on the community page. Alright y'all, take care. Have a good day. God bless. Also check out my friend Gio Viviani on his Golf Clash channel, Golf Clash Italy. You can find them on YouTube under Golf Clash Italy. You can find Gio Viviani on Facebook with the name as you see it printed below on the picture. Lots of different content mixed across all the different divisions in the game. Several streamers stream from this site alone. And also check out Gio Viviani's newest series. It's a spin-off of The Road to Glory, and it's definitely a lot of fun and entertaining to check out. So definitely give him a look and hit that sub button if you like his content.